Hey, what's up? My name is Bill.
And I'm Sonya.
And we are lovetherapyministries.com. And today we're doing something a little different. We're in the kitchen. Our favorite place to be, really.
Back in the kitchen.
Back in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. And cooking up we're cooking up some, Sonya, what are you making? Cookies, holiday cookies.
Holiday cookies. Ooh, is it almost Christmas? For real?
Almost Christmas.
We got to go through Thanksgiving, though.
Oh, yeah. Thanksgiving.
See, that's a problem.
Then Christmas. I want to go back to Halloween because that's really my favorite time of year.
Not mine
That's really
at
my
all.
favorite season. People be like,
that's a no.
you ain't welcoming me out to Halloween.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not doing it.
Yeah, woohoo. Hey, we're back in the kitchen and we're doing holiday cookies. Today we're talking about communication. Communication, how to communicate effectively as husband and wife. Or, if you in a relationship. Communication. So I think one of the first keys of communication is listening. Well, first, let's get into this recipe first.
Okay. I think in communication, you need to understand all the ingredients and everything that goes together to make the finished product, for everything to work together. Making sure you're putting something in first, part of the things that go second. What's the priority? What's the order for you to get the things that you want as far as the end result? So we're doing chocolate chip cookies. Okay. It has flour, it has vanilla, it has eggs, it has milk, butter, just a little bit of milk now because you don't want it to be too moist. You can have your sugar added. You can do white sugar or brown sugar. And chocolate chips, I don't really like chocolate. Just my chocolate man. But in the cookies, it seems to be okay. I can tolerate it. And so I like to put a little bit of these in there. And these are my caramel.
Those are good.
So just add a little extra. You can make your own. Do what works for you. What's going to make the ingredients of this work better and the cookie to come out the way you desire it, nice and delicious. You can add to that. So while we're talking, we're going to be adding those things into this bowl and then preparing it onto this cookie sheet and then into the oven.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
I do have some butter here, and that's what I'm doing here while Bill is talking, because it has to be, melted, nice and soft.
Nice and soft. Communication. So back to our topic of discussion, which is communication. And I think that the downfall, the break in communication is the opposite. Your spouse or your business or your partner has the inability to listen. Like this morning, I was, scrolling through Facebook like I always do every morning, and I ran across this, what appeared to be husband and wife. The husband breaking down communication barriers to his wife and how men communicate. Men communicate differently than women, and it's perceived differently than women. And what I got from that, what I took from it was, she wasn't really trying to listen. She was trying to dissect what he was saying instead of just listening. I think that's the biggest part of communication, is just listen. If your husband or your wife, for that matter, is saying one thing, just listen. And we're not too far. We're not estranged to marriage counseling. Right. We're not afraid to say that. Some people are. We're not. So we have therapy sessions for our marriage.
Yeah, I think so.
And one of the key ingredients, like the cookies, the key ingredients to cookies is the flour and eggs. The key ingredient to marriage is a hearing ear.
Communication. Yeah.
You hear me, but are you listening to what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what do you think, Sonya?
I think that's right. The theory is, are you listening to understand?
Yeah.
Or are you listening to just respond. You know, you're talking to understand it, or you're just talking to respond. I'm just waiting to get what I have to say out, rather than kind of feeling and embracing what your spouse is saying. And it can be frustrating if one feels they're more dominant on what the decision out of the conversation could be or should be. I think at times that could block your communication. If I'm already predestined to know my answer is correct, it really doesn't matter what you say.
Right, because you have an answer just waiting.
I mean,
you have your answer just waiting.
You know, just hurry this up real quick.
Hurry up so I can say what I got to say.
You know, because
you're not listening.
You're not open.
Yeah.
You know, you're kind of set in your ways, or whatever you learned or whatever you believe is so. And you know what? You might be right. But I think it's important that we give our spouses that due respect, love, and consideration to hear them out. Because something about what they say may shift you a bit. And sometimes it doesn't always happen in the conversation.
Yep.
You have to kind of step away and then come back, kind of process it. I've learned that about men. They need to process it. Sometimes I laugh. I'm like, oh, we had that conversation. Woo, good. We do it. We right here. Here it is, an hour, 2 days later. He said, you know that what we talked about? And he done shift because he had time to process it. And then he's like, no, I think we really should do it like this. Once I thought about what you said, and I said, this is kind of what I came to. And so that's okay as well, because people take in things different.
Right.
They process things differently. Women are quick. Like, let's do boom, boom, boom. By the time we can finish with this conversation, I'm going to give you all I got, and I'm done, and we moved on from it. Don't bring it to me later, but that's not fair. I think that all that is a part of learning your spouse. Our marriage counseling sessions, as he says, is important. Don't shy away from it. I think that every leader needs a leader. Right. Everybody, even a strong person, needs somebody to lean on, somebody who's wise and has wisdom in the areas of where you're going. And you hope to pay that forward one day. That might be you doing that for someone else. But I think that's iron sharpens iron. It's important to hear. And I may not hear what he's saying, but in the process of those in our counsel, I might pick up on something because I'm not even guarded by it. You know, and they're speaking to me from a different perspective, an angle of experience, and that makes it more open for our communication. And that was top for our counseling session. Every area we're kind of diving into, they keep coming back.
That same little caveat, communication.
Yeah.
Well, what are you saying to each other?
Yeah.
What are you saying to each other? You gotta be able to speak to each other. And you got to be able to receive, because that's the other coin, the other side to communication, is being able to receive what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, I still think, well, if it was my decision, you know, that kind of stuff.
Right. But I guess that's a part of it. You know, we're not where we were in the past. Like we said, our grandparents, you know, we do evolve and grow. Our society, what we used to do in the kitchen and at home as husband and wife has changed a bit. We're more of, not equally, because I believe in the man being head and the priest. I believe in that. That's still my posture. But I am a working woman. I am somebody who brings value to the table. My intellect, my ideas, my growth, my purpose means something in our marriage, in our relationship. And so embracing that you both bring something to the table, I think, is important.
Yes.
And sometimes in communication, is there something, William, where communication's happening, but you have the last say? And then the posturing has already changed. Remember, if you have the last say, it makes the value of what I say not really, why are we having this conversation?
Because you said all that, and I'm saying I didn't hear a word she said. Because I'm trying to get the last word in.
Yeah.
That's not how you want to communicate. I do have my own little hang up with communication.
What?
Hey, I'm human. I'm human. It is what it is. I'm human. It's not really a hang up. It's how I deal with it. Sometimes I can hear you say something, and like you said earlier, I need time to process.
Yeah, I'm learning that about you.
I need to know A to Z and everything in between.
My God.
You, on the other hand, you don't need that. You don't need that time to process. Yeah. Because that's again, he was saying this morning, men and women's brains work differently.
Yeah.
Now you don't need that. You don't need that time to process.
Yeah. Women like to get in and get it done. They want to wrap this up. Let's have this real quick. And that can kind of sometimes be frustrating when you're coming at your spouse so strong with let's get this and let's get this done. Let's get this done. You know, I don't want to talk about this tomorrow or later. And then we're like, whoo, once I woosah, and I'm done with this, I've moved on. And he's still in the posture of processing. And then I'm going to shut and close him down because I didn't allow him a window to really bring back what he really feels. And I think that hinders in long term the communication in itself, you know? Then he doesn't want to communicate at all because none of this feels good, you know? And I think that it's a workable situation. I think that we should always try. Don't give up. If communication is key, that means I need to hear him. I need to consider him. Yeah. And I just don't need to have him. Back in the day, the girls, you know, take off thinking, I hear you talking. You hear me talking. I don't care what you got to say. I'm talking. You know, it's not that. I got to listen.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Well, let me ask the men out there, because you can't answer that because you're a woman. Men, why do we shut down?
That part.
And that's what he was saying this morning on Facebook. Why do men do what they do when it comes to communication? Why do men shut down? And I mean, I'm guilty of it. Yeah. I'm guilty of it. Sometimes my shutting down is to avoid confrontation. Yeah. Because sometimes these disagreements could get a little...
Could they?
Could they not?
Could they not?
Could get a little, you know...
Yeah, a little heated.
Because we all want our own way. We all want our interpretation or our say correct. To be correct. Right. To be right.
You know, I'm gonna prove I'm right. I'm gonna prove I'm right. I'm prove I'm right. And I think it's okay to agree to disagree, but I think there also has to be a consensus that we're going to come to a compromise. We're going to come to, at this end of the day, sometimes I back off and say, what do you desire to do? And I support you 100%. And you know what, ladies? If it's wrong, he'll know. And we'll come back to the table and we'll get it right. And maybe over time he say, you know what, I found out in this area, you have a little more insight. I'm all right with you coming to the table here. But he feels better and he feels supported and respected if sometimes I just sit back in support in his decision. I heard him say that the other day. He was like, why do you always have something to say? Mercy God, why you always have something to say? You know,
I mean, again.
And it could be in an area that I really know really well. But what I heard, am I listening? Not that you can't say nothing, you can't do anything, but why always when I say something, you have something to say? Why
can't you just say, okay?
Right. He was just saying this.
I'm like this. Sometimes when it gets really, when the conversation, what I call goes in like a roller coaster or merry-go-round or a Ferris wheel, it goes around, a rabbit hole goes round and around and around, and we both just want to have that last say. I'm like, if orange juice is orange, why can't it just be orange? And we both agree that's orange. Well, no. What shade of orange is it?
There's 3 shades of orange.
There's 3 shades of orange.
Which orange do you want?
Which one are you talking about? What shade are we talking about here? But I mean, that it really does. It's really irrelevant. The takeaway is orange, and one of us has to say, you know what? It's orange.
It's orange.
What's for dinner?
Move on.
And move on.
Move on.
Going back to that last word.
Yeah.
I think that's vital. in marriage, when it comes to communication, someone needs to feel like they need the last word. That's pride, selfishness. However you want to put a ribbon on it, however you want to dress it up. It's a form of pride, and it's also a form of selfishness.
Selfishness. It is a form of selfishness.
Ego.
Yeah,
Hey,
a form of selfishness.
pick one. Pick one of those. Pick one.
So we use wisdom, and I'm talking to the ladies. You use wisdom and you say, okay, say you are right. Respect and support each other. Sometimes we just need to, and support. What needs to be learned in the lesson will be learned. And in that, he was like, you know what, you trusted me. You supported me. You respected me. Didn't quite work out the way, again, I saw that, it's okay. I'm a yield this time. You never know what direction that goes in, other than there should be some harmony. There should be somebody has to yield.
Bro, one of y'all gotta say okay.
My God, somebody has to yield. This is forever. This ain't going nowhere. This is we in
But
this
you know what?
for the long haul. So
I may say that she needs to do some things, like that she needs to be like okay with being, like she needs to be okay with the orange being orange. That goes for me too. I don't need to be so confrontational. If she says it's whatever shade she wants to call it, I should be the one to say, you know what, that's right. It is midnight. It is sky orange. It is sky orange. You're right. That orange is sky orange. It sure is, ain't it? So it goes two ways.
It does. It does.
A coin has two sides.
Marriage and relationship takes two people.
Yeah.
It takes two people. And that counseling piece, I'm trying to tell y'all, that's some good stuff. That's some good stuff.
Well, if you was a Christian, you don't need to be counseled. God should be your counselor.
Nah.
Be quiet.
It says, and even in leadership, we said, if you're the only person in the room who's at that level, you're in the wrong room.
In a multitude of counselors, wisdom is established. So
yeah,
it's okay. It's okay.
It really is okay.
Really is. Years ago, it wasn't okay. But now, in today's church, in today's walk, it's not as frowned upon as it was once then.
Yeah. And talk to the men, because he hasn't always been open to counseling. Want to work it out yourself. Let's pray about it. Or letting anybody else in on your, whatever it is you are working through. It's not always glorious. It's not always, as he said, oh, kissy. And running don't go there. Don't go there. Okay. Running through the tulips. I do want to run through the tulips, dude. And I do want some mushy. But there's reality in that there are things that you go through in the marriage that are challenging, and you can make it through it. You got to take the key things and wisdom that God gives you and that counselor gives you, and in listening and receiving from one another in order to make it. And you're stronger because of it.
Yep.
You're stronger because of it. So I think it's important. Counseling is important. Think about that in your relationship. If you're running into any walls, ask God to bring someone a confidant that you both could trust and know, love, and care for you, that you can open up. That's at a higher level than where you are, so that you can continue to grow.
I got a question. Speaking of counseling, if you're a Christian, I'm gonna say something right here for y'all, because y'all might don't be in the comments talking about if you're a Christian, should you only receive counseling from Christian counselors? Like if you and your spouse are going to counseling, could non-believers counsel you? Could a Muslim counsel you? Could an atheist counsel you? Well, of course,
Oh, no, that's not. I mean, what?
Well, I mean, if you're a Christian, should your counseling only come from the same faith as you are in, the same faith that you believe? I want to say, I gotta say yes. I gotta say yes. Why? Because we don't believe in the same things. If I'm a Christian and I'm going to you for counseling and you don't believe none of the Bible, and the Bible could be red and you think the Bible's blue. You don't believe none of the scripture, nothing, none. You're not a believer at all. Let's just say it like that. The Bible says the blind can't lead the blind. So how does it benefit me taking counsel from someone that don't believe in my same beliefs?
Yeah. How may they walk if they don't agree?
Right.
How do they walk and you don't agree? I think if I was saying if there was anything different, there's different levels of counseling. People should speak to you from the place that speaks to where you are. If I'm looking for leadership, then those who are strong in that capacity can teach me in leadership. If I'm looking for somebody who knows a lot about gardening and we need some help in building out our garden, we can't go to the man who's a mechanic.
Right.
We need to go to the guy who does the gardening. But when it comes to your faith, when it comes to the strong foundation of
your house and your home and your marriage,
that needs to be equally yoked.
Yes.
That needs to be in sync and lined up with where you're going. They can't take me somewhere that they're not.
Right.
If that's not where I'm going, where are they taking us? Where are they feeding us? What are they pouring into us? What are they investing in us? I think that is important, that it aligns with where you are and where you're looking to go.
So yeah, communication is key. Communication is vital for a long-lasting marriage, an effective marriage. And you don't always have to be right.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, you can, if you get too far down the rabbit hole, you can always circle back around and say, you know what? Let's circle back around to this conversation. And I said that the other day. I said, the other day, if something happened or whatever, and I said, you know what? I think I need to walk away right now because I don't want to say something that I'm going to regret. And I don't want the tone to be misinterpreted. So let me just walk away and come back.
Can I tell him what you said?
What did I say?
He said, I'm so mad. I could spit fire. Something like that. I'm like, woo, Jesus. Yes, Lord. Be a fence. Be a fence, Lord. Be a fence.
I said, I'm so mad I can spit fire.
I said, that's kind of mad. That's like, Lord, glory. Sin not.
Yeah,
Be mad, but sin not. So he didn't want to sin.
I said, let me just
sin.
Calm down. Let me just calm down.
Well, that was God.
And we'll talk about this later.
Look how the Holy Ghost come and step in. Yes.
I appreciate y'all spending time with us while I'm eating oranges and making cookies.
Chocolate chip with a little bit of caramel.
Are y'all celebrating Christmas?
Absolutely.
I mean, no, I'm just asking. Are you celebrating Christmas?
You know, he's one of those who starts in July. That's all that is. He's one of those who starts in July.
My Christmas tree goes up in July. It'd be 98 degrees outside and the Christmas tree already up.
But those are our cookies.
All right, y'all. So if you have not, make sure. Yeah, I'm eating. Very tacky.
Very tacky. Smacking. That's country.
Of course, you know we have lovetherapyministry.com. And we also have a branded page, which is
Bill and Sonya.
BillandSonya.org.
Yes.
Go over there. Do us a favor, go over there. Check us out. We're also building out all of our social networks. Email us at hello@BillandSonya.org.
Yeah.
Any final words?
It's going to be okay. Let your pride go. Know that you love the person standing next to you and that you and they are worth it.
Worth it.
Communication in every area is important.
Communicate, man. Stop being, just chill. One of y'all swallow your pride.
That's what I gotta be somebody.
One of y'all got to swallow it. Be like, okay, the sky is orange. That's a beautiful orange sky. Ooh, that sky is beautiful orange. Woo.
Lord have mercy.
And walk away and go eat you a peanut butter sandwich and be done with it.
And keep your marriage before the Lord. Stay in prayer. I'm a praying woman, and I've seen some things in my husband shift and change without my mouth having to do the work. God knows how to turn the heart of a king. Trust him. Trust him in what he brought into your life, the gift of me and the gift of him. So.
We love y'all.
Thanks.
Hey, this is Bill.
And I'm Sonya.
And this is lovetherapyministries.com, BillandSonya.org, and we are out. Peace.